The galaxy was in chaos. The Zarkonians, a fierce alien race, were on the move. Their ships, dark and menacing, blotted out the stars as they traveled from planet to planet, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. They had one goal: to conquer and control. Fear spread like wildfire through the galaxy, and many worlds had already fallen under their cruel rule. On a small blue planet called Terra Nova, the people were worried. They had heard stories of the Zarkonians and their terrible power. In the quiet town of Riverton, families gathered in their homes watching the news with anxiety. The leader of Terra Nova, a strong and wise woman named Mayor Lena, addressed the citizens. "We must prepare ourselves," she said, her voice steady. "The Zarkonians may come for us next. We cannot let fear control us. We must stand strong." In the weeks that followed, the people of Terra Nova worked tirelessly. They built defenses around their town, digging trenches and setting up barriers. The children helped where they could, carrying supplies and listening to their parents' stories of bravery. There was a sense of unity in the air, as everyone knew they had to protect their home. Then, one fateful day, the sky darkened. A fleet of Zarkonian ships descended upon Terra Nova. The townspeople were terrified, but they quickly gathered together. Mayor Lena rallied everyone in the town square. "We will not go down without a fight!" she shouted, raising her fist. "We will defend our home!" As the Zarkonian ships landed, the ground shook. The alien soldiers, clad in black armor and armed with glowing weapons, marched out with an air of confidence. They were sure of their victory. But the humans of Terra Nova had other plans. They had prepared traps and obstacles, and they were ready to use them. The first wave of Zarkonian soldiers advanced towards the town. They were met with surprise. Humans emerged from their hiding places using slingshots, makeshift catapults, and other creative weapons. They fought back fiercely, surprising the aliens with their courage and determination. The battle raged on. Zarkonian lasers cut through the air, but the humans used their knowledge of the land to their advantage. They knew every hill, every tree, and every alleyway. They set up ambushes and drew the Zarkonians into traps, catching them off guard. One brave young man named Alex became a hero that day. He noticed a group of Zarkonian soldiers trying to flank the humans. Without thinking, he dashed through the chaos and climbed a nearby tree. From his high perch, he could see the whole battlefield. Alex took a deep breath and started throwing rocks at the aliens. His friends cheered him on, and his actions inspired others to join him. As the battle continued, the Zarkonians began to feel the pressure. They had underestimated the humans. The townspeople fought with everything they had, using their creativity and teamwork to outsmart their powerful foes. Slowly but surely the tide began to turn. The Zarkonians, realizing they were losing, called for reinforcements. But the humans didn't back down. They pressed on, determined to protect their home. Each time a Zarkonian fell, the morale of the humans grew stronger. They believed in themselves and in each other. After hours of fierce fighting, the Zarkonian forces began to retreat. Confused and shocked, they fled back to their ships. The humans had defended their home against a powerful enemy, and they couldn't believe it. They cheered and hugged each other, filled with a newfound sense of hope. Mayor Lena stood at the center of the town, tears of pride in her eyes. "We did it! We showed them that Terra Nova will not be taken so easily." The townspeople celebrated their victory, knowing that they had fought bravely against a terrifying force. But deep down, they knew this was just the beginning. The Zarkonians would not give up easily. They would come back, and when they did, the people of Terra Nova would be ready. They had learned that even in the face of terror, they could rise up and fight for their freedom. The galaxy might be dark, but the light of humanity's spirit shone brighter than ever. The victory at Terra Nova spread like wildfire through the galaxy. News of the humans' bravery reached distant planets, igniting a spark of hope among those living in fear of the Zarkonians. People who had lost their homes and loved ones began to dream of standing up against their oppressors. This was the start of a new chapter in the fight for freedom. In the days following the battle, Terra Nova transformed. The townspeople no longer felt like victims, they felt empowered. Mayor Lena called a meeting to discuss their next steps. "We must reach out to other worlds," she said passionately. "If we unite, we can be stronger. We need to form an alliance." A small group of brave volunteers stepped forward, ready to travel to nearby planets and seek help. Alex, the young hero who had climbed the tree during the battle, was among them. "I want to join," he declared. I want to spread the word about our victory and show others that we can fight back." The group prepared for their journey. They packed supplies, food, and messages of hope to share with the people they met. As they boarded their small ship, a mix of excitement and fear filled the air. They were about to embark on a mission that could change the course of the galaxy. Their first stop was a planet called Aeloria, known for its beautiful forests and strong warriors. When they arrived, they found the Aelorians in despair. The Zarkonians had attacked their villages, and many people were in hiding. Alex and his friends shared the story of Terra Nova's victory, emphasizing that unity could bring strength. One Aelorian warrior named Kale stepped forward. "You believe we can fight?" he asked, his voice full of doubt. "We have suffered too long. How can we stand against such power?" Alex replied, "We have faced them and won. Together we can be stronger than we are alone. The Zarkonians may have strength, but we have courage and cleverness. We can surprise them just like we did on Terra Nova." Inspired by Alex's words, Kale agreed to join their cause. He rallied others from Aeloria to join the alliance. Soon, warriors, farmers, and families were coming together, fueled by the desire for freedom. The humans and Aelorians formed a bond, each sharing their skills and knowledge. Next, the group traveled to the planet of Orenthia, known for its advanced technology. The Orenthians were reluctant to join at first, as they had always relied on their machines for protection. "Why should we risk our lives for a battle that may not be ours?" asked a scientist named Lyra. But when the humans shared their experiences, Lyra began to understand. "If the Zarkonians can defeat us," she said, "what good are our machines if we do not stand together?" She quickly joined the alliance, bringing her scientific knowledge to the group. The Orenthians offered their technology to help improve the humans' defenses. As word spread, more planets began to join the growing resistance. They formed a council, where representatives from each world met to discuss strategies and plans. Mayor Lena led the meetings, always reminding everyone of their shared goal, freedom from Zarkonian tyranny. Meanwhile, the Zarkonian leaders grew increasingly worried. They had underestimated the humans and their ability to inspire others. Their once unshakable confidence began to waver. The Zarkonians held a meeting to discuss their next move. "These humans are rallying support," one commander warned. "If we do not act quickly, we may lose our grip on the galaxy." Back on Terra Nova, the resistance prepared for their next steps. They trained tirelessly, learning to fight together as a team. Humans and their allies practiced combat techniques, developed new weapons, and built defenses to protect their homes. They shared stories, laughter, and tears, forging bonds that would strengthen their resolve. As they trained, Alex became a leader among his peers. He inspired many with his stories of bravery and the lessons he learned from the battle. "Every day we train brings us closer to victory," he told them. "We are not just fighting for ourselves, we are fighting for everyone who has suffered under Zarkonian rule." The resistance grew stronger with each passing day. They knew that a battle was coming, and they were determined to face it head-on. The people of the galaxy had awakened, and they were ready to rise against their oppressors. The fire of resistance burned brightly in their hearts. Together, they believed they could turn the tide against the Zarkonians and reclaim their freedom. The galaxy was no longer a place of fear. It was a battleground where hope thrived. The humans and their allies were prepared to show the Zarkonians that they would not be terrorized any longer. The alliance grew stronger every day. On Terra Nova, Aeloria, and Orenthia, people worked together, united by a common purpose, to defeat the Zarkonians once and for all. As word spread across the galaxy, more planets joined the cause. The resistance became a symbol of hope, and its members were determined to stand against tyranny. In the heart of Terra Nova, the council met regularly to discuss their plans. Mayor Lena, Alex, Kale, and Lyra gathered around a large table, maps of the galaxy spread before them. "We need to strike soon," Lena said, her voice filled with urgency. "The longer we wait, the more the Zarkonians will regroup and strengthen their forces." Kale nodded in agreement. "We should gather intelligence on their movements. If we can find out where their ships are stationed, we can plan our attack." Lyra leaned forward. "I can help with that. The Orenthians have technology that can intercept Zarkonian communications. We can learn their strategies and movements." Excitement buzzed in the air as the group realized that they were one step closer to gaining an advantage. They decided to send a small team to Orenthia to use the technology. Alex volunteered to lead the mission. "I will go," he declared. If we can gather information, it will help us prepare for the battles ahead. The council agreed, and Alex set off with a few trusted allies. They arrived at the Orenthian base, where Lyra introduced them to her team of scientists. "We have created a device that can pick up Zarkonian signals," she explained. "With this, we can hear their plans and movements. It's risky, but it could give us the upper hand." The team worked tirelessly to set up the device. Late into the night, they listened carefully, capturing snippets of conversations from Zarkonian ships. They learned about troop movements and supply routes, each piece of information fueling their determination. Meanwhile, back on Terra Nova, the remaining members of the Alliance prepared for battle. They trained hard, building their strength and honing their skills. Mayor Lena organized drills, teaching everyone how to work together effectively. "We are stronger together," she reminded them. "Every person here plays a crucial role in our fight." As the weeks passed, the Zarkonian threat loomed larger. Their ships were seen moving closer to Terra Nova, and the people began to feel the weight of fear again. But instead of retreating, they drew strength from their alliance. Stories of bravery and sacrifice spread through the towns and villages, igniting a fierce spirit of resistance. Alex and his team returned with valuable information. "The Zarkonians plan to attack our supply routes in 3 days," he reported to the council. "We must act fast. If we can intercept them before they reach our supplies, we can deal a significant blow to their forces." Mayor Lena listened carefully, her mind racing with possibilities. "We can set a trap," she suggested. "If we know where they will attack, we can position our forces to catch them off guard." The council worked through the night, planning their strategy. They decided to split their forces. Some would defend the supplies while others would flank the Zarkonians when they attacked. It was a bold plan, but they were determined to succeed. On the eve of the battle, the atmosphere was tense but hopeful. The Alliance gathered in the town square to share a meal and strengthen their bonds. As they ate, Alex stood up and addressed the crowd. "Tomorrow we face a great challenge," he said, his voice strong. "But we do not fight alone. We fight for our homes, our families, and our freedom. We will show the Zarkonians that we are not afraid." Cheers erupted from the crowd, filling the air with energy. The people felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had come together, forming a powerful force against a common enemy. The night passed slowly, and dawn broke with a sense of urgency. The Alliance was ready. They gathered their weapons, checked their gear, and moved to their positions. The sun rose over Terra Nova, casting a golden light on the faces of those who stood united. As they prepared for battle, they felt a powerful wave of determination wash over them. They were not just fighting for themselves, they were fighting for every planet that had suffered under Zarkonian rule. The strength of their unity filled them with hope and courage. As the first Zarkonian ships appeared on the horizon, the Alliance stood ready. They had gathered their strength, and now it was time to show the galaxy that they would not back down. The fight for their freedom was about to begin. The sun rose over Terra Nova, casting a warm glow on the landscape. The day had arrived. The Alliance stood ready, hearts pounding with anticipation. They had trained hard and planned their strategy, but now it was time to put everything on the line. The Zarkonian ships loomed on the horizon, dark against the bright sky, and a sense of urgency filled the air. Mayor Lena gathered everyone in the town square one last time. "Today, we fight for our freedom," she said, her voice strong and clear. "We have faced great challenges, but we stand united. Together, we are unstoppable." The crowd erupted into cheers, their spirits lifted by her words. They were ready to show the Zarkonians the strength of their alliance. Alex stood with his comrades, adrenaline coursing through his veins. He looked at Kale and Lyra, who were preparing their weapons. "We need to stay focused," he reminded them. "Remember the plan. We will outsmart them." As the Zarkonian ships drew closer, a deafening roar filled the air. The first wave of Zarkonian soldiers descended from the ships, landing with a thud on the ground. They were fierce and intimidating, their dark armor glinting in the sunlight. But the Alliance stood firm, ready to fight for their homes. The battle began with a deafening clash of steel and the sounds of blaster fire. The Alliance fought with all their strength, using the knowledge they had gained from training and intelligence. Alex led his team into the fray, moving swiftly and confidently among the chaos. He saw Aelorian warriors fighting bravely, using their agility and skill to outmaneuver the Zarkonian soldiers. "Keep pushing forward!" Alex shouted, encouraging his allies. "We can't let them take our supplies!" They pressed on, fighting fiercely and determinedly, knowing that victory was within reach. Meanwhile, Lyra used her scientific expertise to create makeshift weapons from the Orenthians' technology. She directed a small group to set up traps around the battlefield. "These will slow them down," she called out, pointing to the devices. "Let's show them what we've got." The traps worked perfectly, causing confusion among the Zarkonian ranks. As their soldiers stumbled and fell, the Alliance seized the opportunity to push forward. The tide of battle began to turn in their favor. But the Zarkonian leaders were not easily defeated. They quickly regrouped and sent in reinforcements, their ships pouring more soldiers onto the battlefield. The Alliance faced a new wave of Zarkonian fighters, and the battle intensified. Sweat and blood mixed in the dirt as both sides fought fiercely. Alex's heart raced as he fought alongside Kale, dodging blaster fire and striking down enemies. They moved as a team, each relying on the other's skills. Just when they thought they were gaining the upper hand, a loud explosion rocked the battlefield. A Zarkonian warship had landed nearby, and its cannons unleashed devastating fire. The Alliance was caught off guard. Many soldiers fell, and fear began to creep into the hearts of the fighters. "Stay together!" Alex shouted, trying to rally his comrades. "We can't let them break us!" In the midst of chaos, Mayor Lena spotted a group of Zarkonian commanders coordinating the attack. "We need to take out their leaders!" she yelled, rallying a team of brave fighters. Together, they pushed through the enemy lines, determined to reach the commanders. As they fought their way through, they encountered fierce resistance. Zarkonian soldiers swarmed around them, but the Alliance pressed on, their resolve stronger than ever. They fought with everything they had, fueled by the memories of their fallen comrades and the hope of freedom. Finally, they reached the Zarkonian commanders. Lena and her team launched a surprise attack, catching them off guard. With a fierce determination, they fought valiantly, using every skill they had learned. One by one, the Zarkonian leaders fell, their ranks beginning to crumble. With their commanders defeated, the Zarkonian soldiers hesitated. The Alliance seized the moment, pushing forward with renewed strength. "We can win this!" Alex shouted, rallying his comrades. "Let's finish this fight!" The tide of battle turned completely as the Alliance overwhelmed the remaining Zarkonians. The cries of victory echoed across the battlefield as the Zarkonian forces retreated. Cheers erupted from the Alliance as they realized they had won the battle. They had stood together, fought hard, and defeated their enemy. Exhausted but triumphant, the Alliance gathered in the town square once again. They embraced one another, tears of joy and relief flowing freely. They had fought for their freedom and emerged victorious. The galaxy had witnessed their strength, and they would never again be seen as victims. The great battle had changed everything. The Alliance was no longer just a group of planets fighting for survival. They were a powerful force, ready to reclaim their future. Together, they would build a new galaxy where fear would no longer reign. The fight was far from over, but they had taken the first step toward a brighter tomorrow. The battle was over, but the work was just beginning. As the sun set over Terra Nova, the Alliance gathered in the town square to celebrate their hard-earned victory. They had defeated the Zarkonians, but they knew that the fight for their future was not finished. The scars of battle were fresh, and many had lost loved ones and friends. Yet, hope filled the air, promising a new beginning. Mayor Lena stood before the crowd, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude. "Today we have proven that we are stronger together," she said, her voice echoing across the square. "We have shown the galaxy that we will not back down. We fought for our homes, our families, and our freedom, and we succeeded." Cheers erupted from the crowd, voices raised in celebration. The people of Terra Nova, Aeloria and Orenthia danced and laughed, their spirits lifted by the sense of unity and accomplishment. The bonds formed in the fires of battle had created a family that stretched across planets. As the festivities continued, Alex felt a wave of relief wash over him. He had led his friends into battle, and now they stood together as heroes. But beneath the joy, he sensed an undercurrent of responsibility. They had defeated the Zarkonians, but there was still much work to be done. The galaxy needed healing, and the Alliance had a crucial role to play. The following day, the leaders of the Alliance convened to discuss their plans for the future. In the large meeting room, maps were spread across the table, and holographic images of the galaxy floated above them. "We need to rebuild," Kale said, pointing to the damaged areas on the map. Many planets suffered during the invasion. We must help them recover. Lyra nodded in agreement. We have the technology to assist with rebuilding efforts. The Orenthians can send teams to help restore infrastructure and provide supplies. We should make it a priority. As the leaders brainstormed, a sense of purpose filled the room. They began to plan outreach programs, sending aid to the most affected areas. The Alliance had proven its strength in battle, and now it would show its strength in compassion. Days turned into weeks as the Alliance mobilized their resources. Teams were sent out to help with rebuilding, medical supplies were distributed, and communication networks were restored. The people of the galaxy began to see the Alliance as a beacon of hope, a force dedicated to unity and progress. Meanwhile, Alex took it upon himself to reach out to the survivors of the Zarkonian regime. He knew that many Zarkonian soldiers were simply following orders, caught in a system that had oppressed them as much as it had oppressed others. We need to show them a better way, he thought. Perhaps some will join us. He organized meetings with former Zarkonian soldiers, listening to their stories and understanding their struggles. He learned that many were just as tired of war and oppression as the Alliance was. Slowly, trust began to form. A few brave souls even joined the Alliance, eager to contribute to a new future. As months passed, the Alliance flourished. More planets joined their cause, inspired by the success of the Resistance. They shared resources, knowledge, and technology, working together to create a galaxy that was peaceful and prosperous. The scars of war began to heal, replaced by a sense of hope and determination. However, not everyone was pleased with the Alliance's growing influence. A group of Zarkonian loyalists, unhappy with the new order, began to stir trouble. They believed that the old ways were better, and they wanted to reclaim their power. Rumors of attacks began to circulate, and fear threatened to rise once more. Realizing the threat, the leaders of the Alliance met to discuss their next steps. We cannot allow fear to take root again, Mayor Lena said firmly. We must show them that we will not back down, but we also need to listen to those who feel lost. If we can reach out and communicate, perhaps we can avoid another conflict, Alex agreed. We need to send a message of unity. Let's invite them to the table. If we can show them that we are not enemies, we might turn this around. The Alliance organized a conference, inviting representatives from the Zarkonian loyalists and other planets. It was a bold move, but they believed in the power of dialogue. As the conference day approached, the tension was palpable. Would they be able to find common ground, or would old wounds open once more? On the day of the conference, representatives from all corners of the galaxy gathered in the Great Hall of Terra Nova. The atmosphere was tense, but the Alliance stood united, ready to show that there was a new way forward. As the discussions began, hope flickered in the hearts of many. They knew that building a new beginning would not be easy, but they were determined to try. The fight for their future continued, not with weapons, but with words and understanding. Together, they would forge a new galaxy where unity and resilience would reign.